Look, going through a divorce is, well, it's incredibly stressful. The last thing you need is more confusion, especially when it comes to something as important as your home appraisal. So, we've put together this explainer. Think of it as a clear, step-by-step guide to help you get through this process with confidence, making sure you get a fair and accurate valuation for your home.
First things first, let's get really clear on what a divorce appraisal actually is. This isn't about one person winning and the other losing. The appraiser's role is to be a totally impartial, neutral expert. Their one and only job is to establish a factual, fair market value for the property, a value they can hold up in court. They're there for the house, not to take sides.
So here's our game plan. We're going to talk about the main goal, which is a fair appraisal. Then we'll dive into prepping your interior and boosting that all-important curb appeal. After that, we'll cover the essential documents you need, getting into the right mindset, and finally, a quick checklist for the day of the appraisal itself.
Okay, first up, the goal, a fair appraisal. For us here in Pensacola and Escambia County, this really means understanding all those local factors, especially the coastal ones that play a huge part in what your home is worth.
All right, let's head inside. When we talk about prepping your home's interior, this isn't about breaking the bank on a big renovation. It's really just about sending a clear message that this is a well-maintained, well-cared-for property. Let's break this down. A really good, deep clean shows you have pride in your home. It kind of suggests that the things the appraiser can't see are probably in good shape too. Now, decluttering. This is huge. It makes every room feel bigger and lets the appraiser actually see the floors and the walls. Next, make sure they can get into every single room, every closet, even the attic. That's a must for a full inspection. And finally, do a quick check. Make sure the lights turn on, the faucets don't drip. It all just paints a picture of a home that works.
You know what they say, you only get one shot at a first impression. Well, for an appraiser, that impression starts the second they pull up to the curb. The way your home looks from the outside really sets the tone for the entire visit, so let's make sure it's a good one.
So, what does that really mean? First, just tidy up the yard, mow the grass, trim back any overgrown shrubs, and make sure the walkways are clear. Simple stuff, but it makes a world of difference. Second, take care of any obvious little problems. A loose handrail, a bit of peeling paint, quick fixes. And third, just like inside, make sure they can easily access any outdoor structures, like sheds or decks.
Now, you don't have to go overboard with repairs. The key here is to be smart about it. Put your energy into any health and safety issues first. Things like leaks, exposed wiring, or broken steps. Those can really affect the value. Once those are handled, then you can focus on the easy cosmetic wins, like fresh caulk, a few paint touch-ups, or even just new light bulbs. They can make a big impact without a big budget.
Okay, this is a really important point for anyone in the Pensacola area. Living on the coast means things like storm resilience add real, measurable value to your home. So if you have impact windows or hurricane shutters or documented repairs from a past storm, you absolutely want to make sure the appraiser knows about it.
All right, let's shift gears and talk about paperwork. You've probably put a lot of time and money into your home over the years, right? Well, documents are how you prove that value. Putting together a simple info folder for the appraiser isn't just a nice thing to do. It makes sure all your major upgrades are actually counted in that final number.
So, what should go in this folder? Pretty simple, really. Your latest tax bill and a property survey if you have one. And here's the most important part. A simple list of major improvements you've made, along with the dates and rough costs. Toss in any permits for big jobs, warranties for the roof or air conditioner, and of course, those storm repair records we just mentioned. It just makes everything clearer for everyone.
Okay, we've covered the house itself. Now let's talk about the mental side of things. Having the right mindset is just as critical as having a clean house. The key word here is neutral. Stay neutral and stick to the facts.
This quote really says everything you need to know. Your job isn't to try and convince the appraiser to hit a certain number, whether high or low. Your job is just to provide clear, factual information about the house. Think of yourself as a helpful tour guide, not a salesperson. Just let the house speak for itself.
And here we are, the final step, the day of the appraisal. You've done all the hard work already, so this final checklist is just about making sure the visit goes off without a hitch. On the day of, your main goal is to just be a helpful host. Be there on time for the appointment. Make sure any pets are secured so they're not underfoot. It's a good idea to take a quick moment to point out those big upgrades you documented, and of course, when the appraiser asks questions, just answer them honestly. If you don't know the answer, that's perfectly okay too. And that pretty much wraps up our guide. By following these steps, you're doing more than just tidying up your house. You're taking control of a really important part of this whole process.
So take a second and think about it. What are the coastal protections, the recent upgrades, the special things that make your Pensacola home stand out? Answering that question is your real first step to a successful appraisal.